So today we just have me. So I thought, in lieu of constantly yelling out James's name to bug him about something, we would instead have a little chat about safety. So the way I see it, there are two prongs to safety. The first one is your environmental safety. So that is your sun protection, weather protection, not running on the road like I am, so you don't get hit by a car, and also dressing for temperature, light loose layers in summer, protective layers in winter, choosing wools and polyester over killer cotton. It is also important to note that a lot of the things I say are Australia dependent. They will not apply if you live in the US or Delhi or Saudi Arabia. Fighting for my life, you have to admit, I've used pretty mint. So the other element is coming to terms with the fact that, unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there who don't want to do the right thing. I will admittedly fully embrace the fact that I'm in a very privileged place here, running in the exercise capital of Sydney, or a stone's throw therein. But we do have to remember, crime happens everywhere. It is an unfortunate truth of the patriarchal society that we live in, that the best way to stay safe when running as a woman is to run with a man. But does that mean don't run? Heck no. Get those shorts on, get out there, pound that pavement, or grass, or trails. So in Australia, I think it was 2001, correct me if I'm wrong, we had a guy who shot up a popular tourist site in Port Arthur. Since then, the government put forth a law that bans guns outside of very specific reasons. So, for example, if you're a part of a gun club, or if you need to shoot for pest control, or there's a whole bunch of reasons. Anyway, TLDR, you can't just go to the shop and buy a gun, and you can't conceal carry it either. So if you do have a gun, it has to be stored in very specific ways. So where I'm going with this is, carrying a gun is not really done in Australia, and certainly not a normal part of keeping safe on a run around here. Same goes for knives, nunchucks, basically anything that can be carried as a weapon. And there's schools of thought where, you know, you get those little sample packs of hairspray, pop it in your handbag. So what can you do? So run with club, run with people, run during the day. If you have Strava, search for the most heat mapped areas, run those. I also recommend using technology such as setting Strava up with a run. You can screenshot it, send it to a loved one, or you can even just send them the run if they have their own account. Obviously this requires Strava. If you're not a fan of Strava, you can use Google Maps. I actually really like Google Maps because I feel like it's more accurate and it's free. Second hill of the run. This one is kind of, it's not terribly steep, it's just long. I feel like in society we're being pushed to ignore a lot of our natural instincts. And sure, there are a lot of fears out there that are irrational. For example, if I don't have exactly 20 t-shirts in my t-shirt drawer, my family will die in a horrible and painful way, is an irrational fear. Those two things are not interlinked in any way, shape or form. That side street with a broken street lamp doesn't feel quite right. Maybe not so irrational as we would think. Why won't this stupid hill just end? I shouldn't be like that. I'm grateful to have the legs to run this stupid never-ending hill. Another thing that I do think it is essential to call out is what you're wearing. So how many times do you hear when something happens, oh, but what was she wearing? Now, I truly believe it doesn't make a difference what you're wearing. Criminals will criminal no matter what they're wearing. Women get raped in burqas. So in conclusion, remembering my location-specific disclaimers, I don't think guns and what you wear make a huge difference, but I do recommend running on well heat mapped areas, running during the day, running with others, drawing on your community, sending a map of your route to loved ones. Also, look, not everybody will be comfortable with this, but location sharing. If you have someone that's safe and isn't going to abuse it, share your location. Also, don't make eye contact with crackheads.